FSE100, Team 13, Project THEO. I'm Kyle, and we have a team member, Kiara, who is not here with us, but she contributed for this deliverable.
I'm Seth.
David.
All right, and we're going to run through our Project THEO harvest. And running through our slideshow, we have our project introduction. Our problem statement is that as we researched, many U.S. farmers are currently facing labor shortages and high labor costs. After doing some research, we found that labor expenses for U.S. agriculture has increased by 1.78 billion, which is roughly 4.4% from 2022 to 2023. Our project is tackling this problem, and we'll use robots to cut down the farmer labor and costs, and also as well increase efficiency for farmers throughout their planting and harvesting process.
We have a four robot system proposed, made up of the soil reader, which analyzes pH and soil moisture. The planter places the seeds in the proper place. The pest eliminator sprays pesticides upon the crops, and the crop collector harvests the crops and transports them back to the barn.
Reader, what we have here is that we have sensors objects in order for it to sense where it's at, and then as well it knows where to stop and then plants in the grounds. So that's how it's getting its soil readings. It does its testing and then reports back to the user.
Next, we have the planter robot, which is placed by the farmer. It originally places a seed, reads a force sensor, determining that it was at the right depth. A motion sensor and a distance sensor goes ahead and scans, and then once it's confirmed, it will move forward and continue the cycle again and again and again.
Pest limiter, it is placed by the farmer so that the so I can move forward with the sensor. It stops, lowers the chamber. Farmer can put the whatever toxin needs to that's safe for plants to kill pests, and it just keeps doing that until it reaches the end of the field.
And then we have the crop collector. The crop collector is triggered by the user, which is the farmer in this case. And as well, it'll use distance sensors to know where it's moving up and down the fields. It'll as well use a force sensor in the crop collector bin to know when the product is full within the actual machine itself. Environment here, we have 4 robots. Our blue robot here is our soil reader. Our yellow robot here is our planter. Our green robot here is our pest eliminator. And our purple robot here is going to be the crop collector. The soil reader will be going up and down the rows here, and it'll physically just move up and down these rows, and then once it reaches rows, it'll be turned around and will end up going the other way, up and down the row, that way. So, and again, it'll be using distance sensors as it moves up and down the rows to knows where it's at, and we'll also be using the same distance sensors to trigger every single stopping point along the way. For
robot 2 is the planter robot, and it's placed by the farmer, in this case Kyle's hand, and basically it fires when it's placed. It places the seed, makes sure that it goes to the proper depth, and that's done by a force sensor. Once it reaches the proper depth, a distance sensor will scan, make sure nothing's too close to it in front of it, and then it'll move for a set period of time depending on the crop, and then the cycle is going to continue and continue and continue.
Robot 3 will be placed at the starting position wherever the farmer wants it, and once it's placed, it'll use a force sensor to go over the crops, and if a farmer wants to have it go over a specific plant that he thinks is contaminated with pests or a disease, it can go over it, stop, lower the chamber.
Crops are ready to be harvested, so they're fully grown at this point. And then what it'll do is it'll use information between robot 2 and 3 to kind of figure out where the crops were planted, and it'll start cutting the crops as it moves slowly up and down the rows. It has distance sensors in order to detect where it's going. And if it's selected between the rows, it'll actually move between the rows, and it has suction hoses on the side. The machine here is full. There is a force sensor at the top of it, which once that is triggered with enough force, the machine will shut down because it is full of product.
So our robots are more advantageous to our competitors because reader is more advantageous because it's mobile. Planter robot is better because it's more stable. It's built like a tank, and it also can handle a lot of different terrains, and it's also quite accurate. Dust Eliminator can cover larger areas with greater precision around. Then a crop collector can handle multiple types of crops. A lot of the crop collectors out there just kind of specialize in one.
That is our Project THEO and our robot system. We are very confident that our system will provide farmers with a more successful harvest. Our robots are designed to be more precise and cheaper than manual labor from humans. As part of our original problem statement, that's what's increasing in the U.S. right now is labor costs.